Hi everybody and welcome to StriveU.com. My name is Eric Allgood. You're watching the video tutorial series on getting the Scoreboard app into your Wirecast stream, and if you're watching this video, congratulations, you are taking the next step in making your stream look awesome. Christian from Osceola has designed the Scoreboard app. It works great, it looks awesome on your stream, and we can't wait to help you get your Scoreboard into Wirecast. This video is a very detailed step-by-step from the very beginning of getting the Scoreboard into Wirecast, cropping and using the Chroma Key so that your Scoreboard looks great on your screen, and then into the operation of the app itself. The second video that you'll see below on the page is the quick refresher on just getting the Scoreboard into Wirecast. So if you're pretty good with the operation, just need that last minute refresher on using it and getting it into Wirecast, that will be the video for you. So with that, let's get into the show and we'll show you how to get your Scoreboard app into Wirecast. Hey everybody, this is the beginning of the Scoreboard tutorial. First things we want to do is get, of course, our Scoreboard open. We do that in Safari. We use Safari because A, that is how it was designed. That's how Christian laid out the Scoreboard itself. Also because Safari runs at a little less CPU usage. That keeps things nice and good for the stream later on down the line. We'll explain that more as we get through. We are going to open up our Scoreboard app by going into our respective dashboard. Going into whatever dashboard your school is. For today's purposes, we're using the Osceola Bulldogs. Once we've got into the dashboard, which will get a makeover as of this summer of 2016, we will click on the Scoreboard app. This screen now will let you select your sport or event, if you have already put that into the schedule of events on strive.tv. By putting in your event or your sport, it will bring up automatically the number of timeouts if they are pertinent to your game, the minutes for each period, and halftime and overtime as it is. If you are in a special basketball game, perhaps they're playing 10 minutes and it's basketball and they're actually playing 10 minutes, this is a good time to adjust that. You can also adjust that, of course, as you go through the game in the Scoreboard itself. Once you have the settings all correct, you are ready to begin your event. The quick rundown on how the Scoreboard operates. It is of note that everything about the Scoreboard is clickable so that you can edit it. For instance, by clicking on the home name, I can simply retype a new home team name, hit enter or tab or click somewhere else, and into the names it goes. You can also, from here, click on your periods. In this case, we're in the pregame mode, so we can automatically go to the first quarter. Since we selected our basketball game with 8 minutes, the time automatically fills in. Do you want to post to Twitter? If you click yes, a stat pop-out will come up and will automatically fill in the hashtag and for Strive Sports and for NEB Preps. If you have already logged in, or if you haven't, you can do that from there. Log in and tweet, and off you go. So you can post. This will also fill in the, once you have successfully logged in, it will bring in the live link for your game as well. So if you'd like to tweet, you can. If at any time you need to change what is the time on the Scoreboard, perhaps you've got you missed the time when to start things. And of course, you can click on those to edit. So that is how we get the Scoreboard to look correctly, get it set up for the beginning of the game. Next, we need to get it into Wirecast. Now we are ready to open up Wirecast and get ready to put our Scoreboard into our Wirecast. So with the correct Wirecast template for this instance, we've got one that we created just for today. We do not want to check for a new one. We have our shot already in. Now what this is an image that we are going to use in place of the camera shot. And obviously what we're trying to add is the scoreboard to a camera shot. So this was a nice field shot that we had taken back at the 8-man All-Star game that will work just fine for the camera shot. What we're doing with the scoreboard is we're adding a source. So if this is the very first time you've ever added the scoreboard, you want to pay very close attention to these next steps. We're going to Sources and then Show Source Settings. This will be the place where all of your sources are. If you've never done this before, you will have no local desktop presenter. If you have done this before and you're just trying to get your scoreboard back in, go ahead and click on your local desktop presenter. It will bring you up a blank green screen. What we are trying to capture is a window, not a monitor, not a game, but a window. We want to make sure that all of these boxes are unchecked, and then we can go down to select our window or monitor. We don't want to select the dock. We don't want the desktop picture. What we want is Safari. That's what's running our scoreboard, right? And since the only thing running in Safari is the Scoreboard app, when we hit OK, our Scoreboard app is now a source. So it's a source, it's ready to go, and we can hit X to get rid of it. So we're ready for the next big step, and that is to get the scoreboard to lay over the top of the shot that we would like to have it so that we can see it on the screen when we go live. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit the shot that will have the scoreboard on it by clicking the gear button and then Edit Shot. So this will bring up all of the different sources that we have added or not added yet. And of course you can add text, you can add your movie files here. We've already got the picture in this case. Normally we would be on a camera, but in this case we've already got our picture in place of our camera shot. So we want to add another layer, first of all, for our sources. So we hit our plus button, no media comes up. Now in our sources, we go back to our camera and we are adding system devices. And what we are adding is that local desktop presenter that we just created. When we click on that, we see that our scoreboard is there. So to get it to be this layer, and of course we want it on top of the camera, we click on it to make it live. And now we see that the entirety of the shot is live. And the entirety of what we have captured is all around on the scoreboard. So the next step is to crop down the scoreboard, and we have left some green, and we want to continue to leave some green around this because we're going to use the Chroma Key in just a minute to get rid of that green and make it look like a nice clean crop around the scoreboard itself. So we're going to crop from each side and from the top. And we're going to pay careful attention that on the bottom we leave just a little bit of extra room for the stat pop-outs that can come down to the bottom. We'll talk more about those in just a second, but remember that you do want to leave yourself just a little bit of room for the stat pop-outs. So now that we've cropped around the scoreboard, obviously we still have the green, so our next step is to click on the Chroma Key. What we're going to do is use the Chroma Key, and this does happen sometimes, that you will get your Chroma Key to Chroma Key out everything that isn't white on your scoreboard. So what we do then sometimes is we uncheck the Chroma Key, and what we'll do with the camera is we'll point it at the sky or someplace else that is not anywhere close to being the color green, so that when we use the Chroma Key, we can then pick the key color. And then we are going to click back in that space that we left that was green down below, and hopefully we can find. And as we keep clicking around, there it is. It finally popped up there. So what the Chroma Key has done is taken away all of that extra green to make it really nice and clean. If by chance you do get in a bind and get in a pinch and you just absolutely have to crop it, you can crop down to right around the scoreboard, and that works just fine as well. So now the scoreboard, as you see, we have it at the top. From here, it is clickable to be moved. And you can see as I go over the green there in the middle, it brought the Chroma Key back up there. So got to be careful where we place this. Usually we like it at the bottom, but whatever works for you. Keep in mind that our stat pop-out will be coming at the bottom. You can use the placing of it to put it at the top, to put it at the bottom. I like the bottom middle. That way I know it's in the middle of my screen, and I know it's got the room at the bottom as well. So the scoreboard is there. It looks good. The Chroma Key has been done. We hit X, and we've got it in the preview screen. Of course, our transition button will take it into our screen, and we are ready to go for the live version of the Scoreboard app. Congratulations, you've passed the hardest step of this entire process. You've got the scoreboard into Wirecast. Now you just need to operate it. It uses hotkeys, so that's how we're going to do this today. Let's go. Earlier we showed you that all of the cells in the scoreboard can be edited just by a simple click, and of course that's important when you resize your safaris to make sure that you leave room for the ability to edit whatever you might be talking about. And of course we can click along here and change all of our periods and our time. This is especially handy, being able to click on the time on the scoreboard that you will see, that people will see at home. If you perhaps aren't up on your timekeeping procedures for whatever game you are in, this can really help you, because you can go back and always look at the actual scoreboard and be able to type in any score or find out any different score at any time. So we've got the scoreboard ready to go for our first half, if you will, and we're going to have Heartland against Osceola here today. So to look at the right side of the scoreboard now, to kind of let you go through some of the different features about the scoreboard. First and foremost is how it operates, and that's using the hotkeys. And to show the hotkeys, all you got to do is click on hotkeys. From here, it is of note that all of the hotkeys, you don't actually have to use the mouse for any of them. Instead, you use the up, down, left, and right on the keyboard on whatever computer you might be using. So for instance, if I want Heartland, in this case they're the home team, to have 2 more points, 2 taps of the left arrow simply adds 2 points to the home team. Osceola is the away team. They get 3 points on their first possession, 1, 2, 3, and there they've gone. To start and stop the clock is the same button. It is the down arrow, and as we see that here with start time, that corresponds to the down arrow, and we see that the scoreboard, of course, is live updating because we have captured this to be our local desktop presenter, so that's what's going over the top of this. If I want to stop the time, again, I'm hitting just the down arrow. Should we come to a timeout, hitting the up arrow brings up the timeout menu. So basically what we've done is hitting that up arrow brings us to another layer of new hotkeys. Who is taking the timeout? Is it the home team or the away team? In this case, let's say that the home team, Heartland, is taking a timeout. So my left arrow now brings me to another level, if you will, of the menu. Are they taking a 30-second timeout or a 1-minute timeout? And again, these are all based on the sport that you clicked on back at the beginning when we set the scoreboard up originally. So is there a 30-second or a minute timeout? In this case, we'll take a 30-second timeout. The new feature is that the timeout timer will actually pop out to the bottom of the actual scoreboard time, leaving your scoreboard time available to see at all times. If by chance we wanted to get an away timeout that originally lasts a minute, but they're not taking the full time and they're just about ready to go, if I hold down Shift, I bring up another another level to the scoreboard hotkeys, and pressing the up arrow will end the timeout. You see the timer has gone away, and we are back to our normal home and away scoring and starting and stopping the clock. Other fun things you can do as far as stat pop-outs, these get especially fun during basketball games or football games or soccer matches, whatever the case may be. The property is simply whatever you're keeping track of. For instance, when you've seen a soccer match, you might have seen shots on goal. If that is something that the scoreboard at your facility keeps track of, and or you've got really good statisticians, you can show these at different times. And what you do is you hit show, and that is the how the pop down works, and how you can see how it looks nice and clean right there at the bottom. If you are playing basketball, by the way, if you want to edit this, we recommend hide, and then to edit whatever it is you're doing. Perhaps in basketball you want to keep track of team fouls. Show, and now you can see that we've edited that. You'll notice that as I click here, nothing's happening. That's because we have to hide it, and then we can show it again, and now we've edited one more time. So this is the stat pop out is not a live edit, so you have to hide it, change it, show it. Especially useful during soccer matches as well. That shots on goal is a fun stat to keep a track of. So that's the stat pop out. The quick tutorial will take you through a real brief explanation and kind of highlight the different areas that you can show and see during the entirety of your game, how you can edit different things. So as a quick refresher, video takes you right back here to watch the videos that you're watching right now. Support, of course, has our phone number and email if you have any trouble with the scoreboard or with the stream itself. Those are the best ways to get a hold of us here. And then, of course, in the top right is share. You can share at any time. Again, if you've logged in with your Twitter, you can share what is going on with your game. If everything is going great and you've got a score update, that's the place to put it in there. If you, by chance, are having troubles with your streams and you want to connect that with your viewers, a simple login and tweet can be done from that share button. Thanks for watching our video tutorials on the Scoreboard app. Don't forget, if you have any questions, you can always email us, support@strive.tv. The Strive support phone number is 402-513-8590.